Okay, today we're playing Kerbal Space Program, and this is my rocket thing. We're going to be flying to the moon, landing on it, and flying back. So this is kind of an experimental design. I got to the moon on a similar design, but this one has more of these things, so hopefully it'll be a bit easier and work a bit better. So here we go. Basic design is that those things on the outside, plus this engine, get me into kind of a trajectory that goes into space. Then I ditch these, and this engine here uses this fuel to get into an orbit, and this thing changes my orbit to collide with the moon, and then slows me down so that I land on it. So just wait for the physics. Come on. Is that on? I don't... Yeah, it is. Oh, it's just jerky because fraps. I thought it was the thing he hadn't loaded yet. Alright, so going to turn SAS on so I keep pointing up. Throttle to full, and here we go. So we're going straight up, which is nice. And we're accelerating quite fast. Surprised because this is a lot of extra weight, but I suppose these engines help as well, so... Hopefully we're going to get to about here and then start to turn, because that's the thickest part of the atmosphere and I prefer to get out of it before turning and accelerating sideways, otherwise a lot of that fuel will be wasted. So until then we're going to go straight up. See, we're burning through fuel quite fast. I've already used up 2 out of my 5 tanks on each of these. Is that 5 or 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 out of my 6 tanks on each of these booster things. 3 now, so we're running out actually. But it's okay, we've got through most of the thickest part of the atmosphere, and I'm sure we'll get there in time. I actually made it with, I think I mentioned, with one of these, but with only 4 booster things. But when I went to make a video of it, for some reason it didn't even get here before running out of fuel in these when it did the first time, so I'm not quite sure what happened. But decided to add a few more. Obviously the solution to every problem is more rockets, so... we're on our last set of tanks before we have to ditch them and start turning. So I'm going to turn SAS off in preparation, RCS on so that I can get some control, ditch these, turn off this engine for now so I'm not wasting fuel while I turn. And then we're going to roll... Well, there's north, so you expect that to be east, south, west, but I think it's actually east because it's a bearing of 90, and I think the brown part of the nav ball might actually be the one where directions are what you would expect them to be. I'm not entirely sure that's right, but I have noticed some weird things going on with expecting to be pointing west and going east instead and things, so someone correct me or explain exactly how it works. I'd appreciate it. Right, so now we're pointed in that direction. I'm not sure which actually, one of the 2. But the point is we'll get into an orbit once we start thrusting, so I'm just going to wait until I get a bit closer to my apoapsis. I think the best time to burn is when you're actually at your apoapsis, but it's going to take longer than that time to get into an orbit, so I'll just start a bit early. Maybe about a minute before it. Oh dear, no, I don't want to do that. Come on, there we go. Right. Under acceleration, that's a bit strange. Oh, RCS would be... Oh damn it, I nearly ran out of RCS fuel, that was bad. Oh well. That's stupid of me. I'm not under acceleration, come on. Oh, is it SAS as well? That's irritating. Come on. You used to be able to... okay, so I'll just turn my thruster up, SAS on, and we'll widen our orbit. You used to be able to accelerate while you were. You used to have to speed up time while you're accelerating, but then rockets would shudder about and fall apart and things. So I don't blame him for removing that. Still kind of annoying when you're just accelerating gently for a long time or something. So as you can see, our orbit's, well, not our orbit, our trajectory is widening out, and it will soon be in orbit. So here we go, and our periapsis is 85,000, our apoapsis is 195,000. That's just about right, because we just want the periapsis to be out of the atmosphere so that we don't get slowed down and end up crashing. And the atmosphere is 70,000, so that's perfect. Right, so where's the moon? It is so much space junk. I don't know if you can hide it. I wish you could hide these. They're all just rocket boosters and things that have ended up lost in space. So it's kind of annoying having them there, but I don't know if you can hide them. Right, so there's the moon. What we're going to do is accelerate time and wait for moonrise on the other side of the planet, because that's the best time to accelerate. If you accelerate towards the horizon just as the moon's coming up, then your orbit will widen to about like here or something, but the moon will travel around and meet you there, and you'll intercept it. So it's a handy little trick for knowing where to burn to. Okay, so that's retrograde. I think it's kind of hard to see because the white line's in the same place as the green ones, but I think that's retrograde. So I'm just going to slowly turn around because this thing is ridiculously sluggish, and eventually we might start pointing. Wait for it. Wait for it. I'm gonna miss it, I think. Oh no, I might be about right. No, I missed it a little. Come on. This thing is awful. Can't wait until 0.17 and there are bigger RCS thrusters. Probably should have chucked in an extra tank of RCS fuel, but I didn't think of it. I'll do that if I remember afterwards. Okay, so hopefully. Oh, we're way too late. We should have burned as soon as it came to about here. But right, so what I'm going to do, a line like this. No point having my RCS on because it's run out of fuel. I'll align like this, make sure I'll stay in this position, and then if I allow myself to orbit, then I should stay in the same orientation and just orbit around, and I'll be pointing the right way next time. In theory. Oh, actually I might miss the moon, won't I, because it'll move around, so I'll have to redo that. It's kind of annoying, but at least I'll be much closer. It won't be so hard to aim. Definitely have to remember to get more RCS thrusters. Or fuel, rather. Come on. I'll leave myself a bit more time to aim this time. There, that'll do it. Alpha. I always do that, accidentally double click something and it focuses my camera on it. Right. I need to be pointing there. No, come on. Come on. This is infuriating. Oh. Right. There we go, so now I'm oriented about right, although we'll orbit the Earth and the horizon point will change and I'll have to adjust it slightly. But that's good enough for now. So where are we? We're there, so there's actually a fair amount of time until moonrise. I'll turn off SAS and then... Oh come on, I'm not accelerating. Okay, there we go. Right. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to need to adjust that. And it will take a while, so I'll just move now. Come on. There we go. Right. So we're now pointing towards the horizon again, and the moon's about to rise. It's a bit annoying that there's this glow around it, make it a bit harder to see the moon. That's kind of why I like doing this the other way around, so that when you rise over the horizon it's night, so there's no glow or sun or anything in the way, but it's not how it turned out this time. Okay, so we just need to start accelerating, and it will judder about a bit because this is a mediocre rocket, but it's okay because we'll get there. And I just need to jettison this stage and start using this one. Oops, that's not good. It's kind of out of control. Wait. Turn off SAS. Come on. No, other way, other way. Got an advanced SAS thing here, so I'm not sure why it's... I mean, I know I need RCS thrusters, but... yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm actually supposed to burn towards the horizon or prograde, but they happen to be almost the same, so it's not a big difference if I'm getting it wrong. So we'll just wait for that to extend out so they will intersect with the moon. That's the apoapsis of my orbit, so there we go. Oh, I've still got it on the weird, what's it called? Conical mode. The, the line showing your orbit won't be like that for you, it'll be slightly different, but it's okay, just make sure you encounter the moon and that there's an apoapsis. So I'm going to decelerate a bit because it looks like I'll collide with the moon at this rate. I didn't slow down enough. I would, if I was you, I'd lower the throttle right down before, just when your orbit's about here, so that it will slowly come outwards and you can stop it at the right time. But I'm an idiot and forgot to do that, so I'm going to have to correct it. So I've got a periapsis now. There we go. I actually really hate this the mode of showing the orbits, but it's on for some reason. I think I changed it to see what it was like. I didn't like it, but I forgot to change it back. So we're nearly there. Just need to wait. Okay, so that's something like that. What you would have seen before, you would have seen a line coming here and then this one coming outwards. So just need to wait until we get to the periapsis, because at the moment we're on an escape trajectory, which means we're just going to swing past the moon and escape out of the whole system, which is not ideal because we'll be lost in space forever probably. So just wait until the periapsis. Come on. Hey, look, there's a Halbold Kerman. He's actually in orbit around the moon. Got him there with just a jetpack, but now he's out of fuel, so he's basically trapped forever. Right. So there. We need to burn retrograde, which will slow us down and allow the moon to capture us in its orbit rather than escaping from it. So here we go. And there. I could decelerate completely and fall to the moon here, but I actually want to fall down on the light side of the moon so that I can use my my orbiter's shadow to see where it's going to land and when I'm about to hit the ground, because otherwise it's quite difficult to tell. That's how Neil Armstrong did it actually. They landed on the light side of the moon and he could see the shadow, so he knew how far he was from the ground. So otherwise it can be quite hard to tell. I mean, it's difficult anyway, but without the shadow you're basically guessing when you're about to hit the floor, because the altimeter just shows I don't know what it shows, because on Earth it's sea level, but obviously the moon doesn't have a sea. I guess it's the average average height of the moon, so craters would be no, because then craters would be negative and they're not. Maybe it's the lowest point on the moon that it shows. So now I'm above the light side of the moon. I need to decelerate. I'm actually in a reasonably high orbit, so I've got plenty of time to sort things out and slow down everything. You can orbit the moon at about 3,000 kilometers, 3,000 meters safely. Sorry, because it has no atmosphere, so there's no drag slowing you down and ruining your orbit. Okay, so I'm just going to get a drink quickly. Okay, that's much better. Now we just need to burn retrograde, and you'll see our orbit kind of closing up and coming inwards. And then it'll come inside the moon, so that we're landing on it. And I just want to correct that slightly because it's there. We go. Okay, so oops, that was too far. Okay, so I want to get these 2 points as close to each other as possible, because that will mean I'm going as close to straight down as possible. And the closer to straight down I am, the easier it is to land, because I don't have to worry about horizontal velocity, just vertical. Frozen. Why is it doing that? Okay, there we go. Come on. You don't have to land like this. There's another method where you aim retrograde and that slowly cancels out your horizontal motion, but I prefer to just get rid of it up here. Then all I have to worry about is vertical. So there we go. That's pretty close to straight down. So now I just need to aim upwards, directly upwards, away from the moon, and then control my speed. So you see I've got quite a lot of fuel left. All that needs to do is get me to kind of about 20,000 meters above the moon at a reasonable speed, so that this fuel can slow me for landing. Okay, so I just want to speed this a bit. The problem is, when you're coming towards the moon, there's a point like here. Oh dear, that's not gone well. Yeah, there's a point where this is gonna crash. As I was saying, there's a point where, wow, this has actually succeeded. That's really lucky. There's a point which we found just now where the game suddenly freezes while you're coming towards the moon for a couple of seconds, but if you're slowing time a lot, then it'll actually freeze. The kind of time keeps progressing while it's frozen, and you can't control it at all. So see, I've got a lot of horizontal velocity, so I need to cancel that out just by burning in the direction opposite it. And there we go. So now I'm falling straight down. It's actually really lucky that I managed to stop this close to the ground without slamming into it. I actually thought I was going to crash there, but it's okay. I didn't. So what you saw was I accelerated time so that I could get closer. But there's this, as I said, there's a point where time, the game kind of freezes for a second, but time keeps going. So when it unfroze, I was almost crashing. But because these are very big engines for the rocket, I had plenty of thrust to slow down in time. The only problem is I had to jettison the injection stage, I think it's called. See, there's my shadow. In order to slow down quick enough, because there was less mass that I had to slow if I jettisoned it. But that means that I've used a lot more fuel than I expected to land, so I might not be able to get back, which is annoying. Whoops. So I'm just going to have a drink quickly, and then we'll see what's going on. Okay, so we're actually, as you can see, we're just about pointing roughly towards the Earth. I mean, not the Kerbal, sorry. Not usually we're on this side by the time we land on the moon for some reason. I'm not sure why this is the light side now, but we're here, so all we really need to do is burn straight up and then in that direction a little bit. So just need to work out what direction that is. So I'm guessing north is that way. So that would be east. I need to burn, but so there's north, and you would expect that to be east, but that's 270. That's a bearing of 270, which is west. So I think that's east. Oh, hang on. This thing will help me out. So this is pointing straight up, me. So that's that way. Kerbal's there, so that's pointing towards Kerbal. Well, specifically towards the space center. So I need to basically just burn towards that. Okay, so I'm just going to go straight up for a bit, or roughly straight up, and then almost immediately, go towards that. I don't want to use all my fuel, but I need to use a reasonable amount to stop from just crashing. So I'm going to raise my landing struts and see if that's enough. No, that's nowhere near enough. So a bit more then. Actually, I probably should have just burned straight up for much more than that, but it was, yeah, that was a bad plan. I'm probably going to end up in orbit around Kerbal, actually, which is sort of irritating, but a better result than I expected, considering that mistake. Okay, yeah, I'm going to run out of fuel in orbit, I think. Right, so let's see if I can sort something out. So we're now in orbit around Kerbal rather than the moon. So I want to get to my apoapsis, which is the point where I'm slowest. I don't know if it's actually the best point to deorbit, but it seems to be, because you have less momentum to cancel out in order to fall straight down towards the planet. So that's what I usually do. Someone correct me if it turns out that's the wrong place to go. Here. So I'm going to burn retrograde, which is not that way, the other way. And that will slow me down and hopefully pull me into the orbit. And all I need to do, I'm going to burn slowly so that I don't end up overshooting or anything. Just actually a bit fun. Come on. Hopefully I have enough fuel. This is getting there, but I don't know if it's gonna. It'll be infuriating if I get almost there and then run out of fuel. I just need to get to 70,000 meters because. Oh, why is it running so slowly? Okay, because then the atmosphere will slow me down. It actually looks like I'm almost perfect, and I think I could be wrong, but I think that there, kind of about there, is where the space center is, or it might be here somewhere, so I'm actually not too far from it. I'm very lucky that I had enough fuel to land. So where's Kerbal? I can't even find it. I should be pointing almost towards it, shouldn't I? Roughly. Oh no, I should be pointing directly away from it because I retro burned. Okay. Or maybe not. Am I too far away? How far am I? Yeah, I might be too... No, because you can see it from the moon, no problem. So it should be directly between retrograde and prograde, so either there or there. Which is like somewhere in this. I can't believe I'm having so much trouble. Okay, there it is. Right, that's Kerbal. So we just need to speed up time a bit. And we're going to use our last tiny bit of fuel to decelerate just before we enter the atmosphere. It's not actually necessary because atmospheric entry doesn't cause any heat or anything, but you know, it's nice to slow down so that so my parachute doesn't tear off or anything. What's that? I don't actually know what that is. I guess that may be... Oh, that is the moon, so it's really strange that I was up there. I guess I orbited it for a long time. So I just got a bit confused there. Obviously it's the moon. Right, so 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So at about 2, this isn't necessary I don't think, but at about 2 I like to burn retrograde with my remaining fuel, which will slow me down so I'm not entering the orbit of Kerbal at 3,000 meters per second. I mean, it's not actually going to make much difference because I'm not got all that much fuel, but you know, there's nothing else to use the fuel on, so whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna get a drink quickly. Okay, so as you can see, we're on a collision course with Kerbal at 3,000 meters per second almost. But once we enter the atmosphere, we're going to start to slow down. But the thing is, this is my landing stage, so I need to eject this before landing. But this module doesn't actually experience much drag, much resistance from the air. So I'm going to keep this attached for as long as possible, because the force of drag per unit of mass is greater with this bit on, because this has a lot more drag per unit of mass. At least I think so. I mean, I could be wrong, but it used to be like this, I'm pretty sure. That could just be completely wrong, in which case ignore me, but it doesn't make all that much difference anyway, so I might as well keep it attached. So as you can see and hear, the air is slowing me down really fast. I'm at almost 15 Gs. It's actually reducing a bit now, but I was at almost 15 Gs. And we're gradually getting to a speed that's safe to open the parachute at. I'm not sure how many Gs the parachute rips out at, but I'd rather not risk, after all that going to the moon and everything, risk the parachute just tearing off. So I'm going to wait until, there's no point having SAS on, I'm going to wait until about 5,000 meters, then jettison this and deploy the parachute. Actually, I might as well wait until about 3,000, because I'm over the ocean, so 3,000 is actually 3,000. It's not, you know, 1,000 as it could be if we were over a mountain. Okay, so there we go. So that's, oops, separated, and there's my parachute. So that's just going to fall away and eventually slam into the ocean and explode, but we're going to be fine. There we go. Gradually floating back. That's just slammed into the sea. He's pretty happy. It's like, yeah, we made it. Which is surprising considering the whole fast forwarding time and nearly slamming into the moon situation. But I'm sure you don't want to watch 5 minutes of this pod falling into the ocean, so I'll just fast forward it. Anyway, so as you can see, we've landed and are floating in the ocean. I'm sure our Kerbal buddies will come and pick us up at some point. So that was a successful mission. Thanks for watching.